Buddha.
This is my state, this is my team. You know what that means. This is for the black and blue that I bleed. This is for the chance to bring home that ring. But everybody gonna doubt this. So far there ain't been another way around it. We bring heat to the game each week. They just say we ain't got what it takes, we ain't bout it. Well, y'all can just keep saying that we ain't gonna make it, but at the end of the day, this'll be the Panthers nation. You know, this ain't a game to us major players at every angle that you can think of. That's why you hate us. Get out the way of greatness. You can look at our faces and see the blood, sweat, and tears that it took to create this. Yeah, I know what you're thinking, but you can save it. Cause even on the darkest of days, you know we're always gonna find a way to tell them what we gonna do, we gotta oh no.
All right. Let's get this party started. Week 3 preview of the Saints versus the Panthers. And I'm excited to finally get to week 3. We've been doing this a long time, y'all. We've been doing this a long time. And Matt Rule is still here. He's still here. Man, I don't know how y'all feel about that after that loss last week, but for me, I don't know, man. It's not good. It's not good. Before we get started on this stream, hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit that bell, select all, and leave a comment down below if you feel like doing so on YouTube. If you are not a part of the Facebook group page, keep pounding in all caps. Go over there, check that out. Hit the like button, hit that follow button, hit the bell. You know, if there is a bell there. I'm getting ahead of myself tonight. But yeah, go hit that follow button over on the Facebook group page, man. That way you get in-game posts, polls, opinions, reactions to NFL news, and schedules for the channel. Plus, reaction, info about the Fantasy Football League, Yahoo Sports Fantasy Football League. We keep pounding. So if you're involved in that, be looking for updates on that. Alright, folks. Let's jump on this, man. Let's do this. What's up, Vietnam? How you doing? I feel bad but happy because he will bring us a first overall pick like John Fox did before he was fired. True. Good point, man. Good point. What up, Drew? How you doing, man? Welcome on in. I haven't seen you in this chat before. What's good, man? Hey, I don't know what's up with Facebook, but nobody in right now, so I don't know, maybe Facebook acting weird right now. But hey, man, I'm excited to be here. Even if our players and our fans are not right now for week 3, I'm still excited to be here. Because you know what? At the end of the road, we know Matt Rule is going to be gone. We know this coaching staff is going to be cleaned out. We know we're going to get a clean slate. Now, the question is, what do we do then? Personally, as I said before, I think Steve Wilkes is the guy. I'm still going to keep sticking to that. And I don't want to hear this, oh, he didn't get a fair shake argument, because that's nonsense, man. Let's give him a fair shake in Carolina, man. Let's give him a fair try. He checks all the boxes for, too. And let me remind you, this is the only coach. If Cody's information checks out, this is the only coach in Panthers history to call out another coach on their nonsense. Okay? And he's correct on every statement he has thrown out there too. If that information holds up. And so far, I have no reason to doubt Cody at all. So, all of that information checked out. We went through it. It made sense. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, it's Cody from C3 Podcast, the Carolina Panthers, man. Go check them out if you haven't already. Love those guys, man. I've actually been in on one of those Friday free-for-alls, man. Love those guys. And, it's a lot of fun. I was in the chat for the last one yesterday. But that's who we're talking about here. That's where that information came from. Just seen it, clicked it, let's go. I'll be at the game tomorrow, ready to see how the fans react to Rule. Hey, man. I wouldn't be surprised to hear some Fire Matt Rule chants out there, man. And I'm not going to discourage it. I'm going to say that right now. I'm not going to discourage it. He deserves every one of them. Am I right or wrong, folks? Come on. We've been doing this for way too long now. But I will defend Scott Fitterer, and I will defend Steve Wilkes. Those are the two I will defend. Everybody else, y'all are in the doghouse too with them. Because those two have been doing everything possible to get us back on the winning track again. And trying to recover this franchise. And even had to stand up against the current defensive coordinator to do so. I mean, if that doesn't show spine, I don't know what does. You know, that's what we're looking for, man. We need somebody that's hungry, that wants that spot, that will command the locker room. And I think Steve Wilkes can do it, man. He showed it that he can in Arizona. All you got to do is look at all the stuff in Arizona where, he might have been set up to fail, with the stuff that he was given, but, in setting up for the next coach. That's fair to say that right there. But I think had Steve Wilkes gotten a fair shake in Arizona, he would still be there. And he would still be competing with Seattle and San Francisco right now. Well, now it's Denver, right? Now it's Denver because of Russell Wilson, but still, my point being, he would be competing right up there with them, with a proper roster. And I think he would probably be 2-0 right now. I don't doubt it. This dude knows how to pick people, man. And it's crazy. You look at what's going on around the league right now. The Lions they actually won a game before we did. The Lions, man. I never thought we would say this day. And I mean, what is it gonna take to get rid of Matt Rule? The last losing streak that has been in the league was the Lions at 16 games. The worst one was 26 in a row. Think about that. We're almost at 10. Does that not alarm you guys? Or am I just blowing smoke right now? Because that alarms me. I don't like that. Shout out to Sean Bradham. How you doing, man? Shout out to Stephen V. Yeah, I don't like it, man. I don't like it. Rule gets fired if we lose. I don't know, man. I don't know. There's some people out there, a former Carolina Panther and a very popular one that does a podcast that's saying, what good does it do to fire him right now? And I've heard that question a lot over the past week. And I'm going to address this plain and simple. It does everything to get rid of him this week. Because, frankly, this dude should have never seen this roster this year. He should have never touched training camp. He should have never even touched the draft this year. He should have been gone last year. But because Tepper decided not to admit that he made a mistake, we're here now. Alright, so realistically, this is a must-win game if you want to recover the season. This is a must-win game. Now I will grant you the NFL is kind of tipsy-turvy right now. I'll show you why I say that, when we go through the scores in a minute. Because I didn't do last week's scores or predictions, and I apologize for that. I'm going to get into them, but it ties into that. My point ties into that. So, there is still a chance to recover the season, but 10 wins? Nah. 9 wins? Nah. I don't see it, bro. Not the way Matt Rule is managing this team. It's not going to happen. But with Steve Wilkes in there as interim, that door is open for at least 6. You could still get 6. I don't know about more than that. That's questionable with the schedule that we've got. But, the door is open for the 6 that I predicted already. However, it's going to be different predicted games than what's actually happened so far. Because I had both of these first 2 as wins. And that's the thing, man. I saw that depth chart for this week, and I'm not happy with it. It's the same one as last week. It's the same one. Matt Clown Rule has not changed it. This dude does not deserve to be touching this roster right now. But Steve Wilkes, if you put him in at week 2, will turn this team around in 2 weeks. I promise. Let him touch this roster. Let him reorder this depth chart to where it needs to be reordered to. And I'm telling you, results. Because, look, man, our defense can go 3 quarters and then they're exhausted. But if you keep running that 3-3-2, Phil Snow, and let Steve Wilkes run that defense for you for a week. Let Steve Wilkes run that defense for you. I promise you'll see changes within a week. I promise you. I put money on it. I would straight up put money on it, and I don't bet right now. I don't bet on nothing. But if I was going to bet on something, it would be that right there. Steve Wilkes has proven himself in 16 and 17 with this defense. He knows exactly where everybody is supposed to be, what they're supposed to be doing in a 4-3. Even though we don't have the personnel to match both, the 3-3-2 or the 4-3, he would still manage to put everybody where they're supposed to go and motivate them enough to actually get a win, especially over a division rival, the Saints. That is what would happen if you fired Matt Rule today. That is what would happen. Immediate change. Y'all remember what I said when Steve Wilkes first came back here? The immediate changes that he made on that and you could see it in the secondary in his last 2 games, can't you? Go watch the tape on that, man. Because he brought confidence, he brought chemistry, he brought discipline, he brought technicality, footwork, hands, technique. He brought all of that back, bro. Phil Snow has not been doing any of that. This man's been running a 3-3-2 with the wrong people and making people lose weight for no reason at all. Tell me how that helps us. When you can't figure out what to do with Jeremy Chin, one of the top 5 safeties in the league, in my opinion, and you're wasting his talent. You are wasting his best years trying to figure out what to do with him. How does that help us? No, the answer is simple. Phil Snow's got to go. We need Steve Wilkes running this defense. Properly running this defense. And I don't care what it takes, man. We got to turn this back around. There's no way we can keep sitting on these losses and expect Tepper to change his mind. He's not going to. Okay? I don't care what false report you heard out there. Oh, Matt Rule's on a short leash this week. No, that's a false report. Don't believe that garbage. Believe the official sources. I'm telling y'all, use the official sources and nothing else. Don't pay no attention to nobody else because they're all a bunch of attention seekers. And I'm about to show you another one today. We'll get to that though. We'll get to that. But I'm going to get to this chat first. Let's see here. Does Matt Rule get fired? Knowing Tepper, no. Sadly, no. If he was not fired last week, he's not going to get fired this week. Point freaking blank. Because let me say this, man. He's waiting on... He's banking on the fact that you can't fire a head coach this early in the season. He's going by that logic. That the league is saying, well, it's a popular trend. You can do it, bro. You got the power to do it. And do not tell me that Scott Fitterer does not have the power to fire him as well. Because he does. He is a general manager and he is ahead of him. He has been sitting on this opportunity as well. So part of this is on him. But I will say this for Scott. Scott is trying his very, very best to save us from an 0-16 season. So, maybe a 1-win season or a 2-win season. He's doing his best, man. He's got his plate full, man. And he ain't got time for that. That's up to the owner. The owner is the one that gave him the contract. He's the one that's got to make the decision. So I'm going to take the heat off of Scott on this one, and I'm going to put it squarely 100% on Tepper. He's got to make a decision here, man. Do you want to save your franchise or not? It's that simple. We are tired of it. We're tired of having to go to these games and say, fire Matt Rule. Fire Matt Rule. Over and over and over again throughout the entire game. We're sick of it, bro. Just fire the man already. I don't care if it's week 2, week 3, week 4, whatever week it is. Fire him. So we can rescue this franchise, man. And with all due respect to Jonathan Stewart, man. God, I love it. I love this dude, but he's off base on this one. With all due respect. Because we could come in here with immediate change in week 2. Going into week 3. We could have immediate change. All you have to do is toss him, bro. It's that simple. Take your loss as a hedge fund manager, and that's part of the reason that he's failing right now and having trouble as a new owner because, hedge fund people have their own little world, that they do their business in, and then they try to take over an NFL team, and it's a totally different animal. I get it, man. You gonna make mistakes. It happens, bro. It happens to new owners all the time, man. Just admit to your mistake. That's all you gotta do. You're not... This team is not a stock or a bond. You can't just come in here and be like, oh, well, I'm just gonna hand this off to my hedge fund manager, and expect this team to do better. Nah, man. Screw that. This is a totally different beast than what you dealt with before. And, with all due respect, I just need you to understand this. Then we can start having conversations about what to do with this team. That's all I'm trying to say is think it through. before you make any more decisions, Mr. Tepper. Real talk. I will defend you on York County, but that's it. Not on this one. Not on Matt Rule. Nah, your leash is run out when it comes to Matt Rule. I can't defend that one. I can't vouch for you on that one. You got to do something about it, man. You got to man up. You got to man up, dude. Okay. Drew says, I was there last year at the Bucks game near the end of the season. It was crazy, but it's time. I see it. I feel bad for Baker because I think he could be the guy under these coaches. It ain't happening. Then we're right back to the restart at the end of the year, just like the last three. Yeah, exactly. Like, I've seen enough of Baker that I think this could be the guy, man. Because, okay, number one, we struggle with the deep ball. Okay, Baker, check. We managed to get some deep balls. One with Robbie and a touchdown. You know? Check mark. Okay, what else? What other issues are we having? You know? We need somebody that can stop tunnel visioning and actually spread the ball around. Check. He did so. You know? We need a leader. We need somebody that's hungry at quarterback. You know? Check mark. I mean, what more are you looking for? This is a playoff contender quarterback right here with the right protection and the right weapons around him. Now, I'm not saying he's a Super Bowl winner. I'm saying he's a playoff contender. He's already proven that by winning one playoff game, and a major one at that, against the Pittsburgh Steelers, their longtime rival, finally stomping them to the curb. Oh, and by the way, the Browns won again against the Steelers. Good for y'all, man. Good for y'all. After all them years of being stomped on, bullied, pushed around, Cleveland, man, I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. Let's go. Good for y'all. I'm not even a Cleveland fan at all. I'm not even a supporter at all. And I support that win right there. That's sent a message to the Steelers people, man. Saying we're not allowing this anymore. We are not going to be the doormats of this division no more. I'm proud of y'all. See, that's what we need to do here in the South. That's what we need to do. Point freaking blank. We need to do that. And we cannot do it under Rule. We cannot do it under Phil Snow. We cannot do it under Ben McAdoo. It's got to be under Wilkes. We need to make a stand. And to your point, man. To your point, Drew. If we lose Baker under those same circumstances we lost Teddy Bridgewater and we lost, Cam Newton. God. To throw away Baker, man, at this point, knowing that we have our guy, our possible guy here. I'm not saying he's the guy. I'm saying I think he's the right guy for the job for right now. To get us into the playoff contentions. And if that doesn't get us a Lombardi, then we can start dealing with that problem once we go under that bridge, right? Under new management. But right now, if we lose Baker, man, I'm going to be sick. I'm going to be sick to my stomach because this is the first guy that we've actually had that has checked all these boxes that we are looking for, since Matt Rule took this job. Since way before that even, when Ron Rivera was running this team into the ground back in 17, 18, 19, 20, So, we've been looking for a quarterback ever since. But I've been trying to tell y'all we need a line help. We finally fixed the line. Look what happened. We finally put up some points, right? But, here's the problem. We get all the way into field goal range and we can't score. Why is that? people have one theory, and it's that we are giving away our offense. As I said, we'll get to that, but because I'm going to play you all the clip that I was given, and I'll let y'all determine for yourselves whether that was cherry-picked or not. But I'm also going to play, in all fairness, Jonathan Stewart's reaction to it, because I want y'all to hear what he has to say about this, because it's really interesting to me. I spent a little bit of that time today just checking this out, and checking out his podcast and everything, and just hearing what he had to say to that, because I was real interested, considering that is a running back position. That's his niche, and if he has some important stuff to say there, I'm here to listen, man. Because if anybody knows about on the field perspective, it's him. Of those situations. So, and how he was used when he was around on the field in uniform, compared to CMC, and I got a number of questions, man, and I got a few of them answered in that clip that I'm gonna play y'all in a little bit. And I hope the guys don't mind, if I play that clip. All due respect to them. I don't want to step on anybody's toes or get copyright or anything, but but yeah, it would be a real shame if we lost Baker, man, to this situation. That would be the third quarterback that could not get it done under clown Matt Rule. That would be the third one. What a shame. You know what I mean? Get Bozo the Clown out of here, man. Facts. If Rule wins and really gets it done tomorrow, does he stay alive in Carolina? I don't know, man. I don't know. I really don't know. I think he does. Does that take him out of the hot seat? No. But, it would make a dent in it. Probably. David Screws says, prove yourself, Matt, so we won't stay a clown. Stop lying. Stop being a hypocrite. Be a coach for the fans. Be a man and own up to your mistakes. Wake up now before your butt is toast. Facts. Preach that right there. Preach that right there, David Screws. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what we're here for. We're here to encourage people, man. And just because I'm calling him a clown right now doesn't mean he can't change his ways. That doesn't mean he can't toss his hair, and is ready to become a decent coach. People change, bro. And that's what I'm saying. I want the best for everybody. And when I'm roasting these people, man, and giving them tough love, it's because I want to see them come back from that. Recover. Come back. Show us that you are not that narrative. You know what I mean? Show us that you are not the clown. Show us that you are not, that player that gets roasted every play. You know what I mean? If you're a defender. Show us you're not that wide receiver that drops passes. Chuba. Chuba, I'm looking at you. But I'm going to be patient with Chuba, man, because I know that this dude needs coaching. He don't need to be in the back of the bus on the depth chart. He needs coaching. Because we saw what happened when he fixed his problems last year. Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers and then come back and talk to me about Chuba. This man needs coaching. Coaching. Matt Rule ain't doing it for you. Ben McAdoo ain't doing it for you. This man needs coaching, proper coaching, and he can fix those problems. I can guarantee it. He is one of the top 5 backup running backs in the league with that amount of carries last year. Top 5. That's if you give him the proper coaching. If you hit it, you give him time with the jug machine, you know? You give him proper drills, you know, where he has to carry that ball around and not lose it while everybody's trying to punch that thing out. Give him proper drills. That's coaching. Guys, it ain't rocket science. Just give him a chance. He's already proven it to you. Why this man is debatable number 3 instead of number 2 outright pisses me off as a Panthers fan. That is gross mismanagement of this roster. Same with Bozeman. We have a Super Bowl winning center sitting on our bench. In place of Pat F1, Mr. Fumbles a lot. Now, which would you rather have out there? Be real. Stop lying to yourselves and be real. Panthers management. Who is supposed to be out there? Bozeman has more than proved himself in training camp and in practices. In preseason, too. Come on, man. God, Matt. There are 3 things that grossly piss me off. Pet peeves as a fan. Number 1 is roster mismanagement, which Matt Rule is doing right now. Number 2 is clock mismanagement. And 3 is timeout misuse. Matt Rule has done all 3 in the last year and a half. That is a good chunk of why we are in a 9-game losing streak. A good chunk of it. Yet this man is still here. Why? Urban Meyer didn't even last a season. That Matt Rule is. Twice. He has had a record of success before he came up here. Major bowl games. Major wins. And he gets fired within 6 months. Yet Matt Rule is still here? Please tell me how this makes sense. Make this make sense, Panthers management. Mr. Tapper, please, I would love to hear, besides money, what your excuse is for keeping this man in Carolina. I'm very, very interested at this point. I have open ears. If you want to come on here and defend your position, you know, and say why he is still here, please do, man. Please do. Open invitation. Zoom is open right now. I'm telling you. I would love to hear it. I am open to hearing both sides of everything and processing every bit of information, but this makes no sense. Maybe I'm missing something here. Maybe we all are. Are we? At this point, I highly doubt it. Because when you go listen to the man in his press conferences, it sounds like a used car salesman. You know? Oh, this car is so great. This car is so awesome. You know, high point selling, blah, 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 blah. When it's really a rusted piece of junk. He's selling you a rusted piece of junk. And we have no choice because that's what our budget is right now. Oh my God. Bro, it ain't hard to figure this out, man. It ain't hard. Everybody, and even in other countries, know what our problem is. Okay? It's plainly obvious at this point. It's painfully obvious. It's scarily obvious. We haven't even reached Halloween yet, and Matt Rule is the scariest thing on this team. I'm going to say that right now. As a matter of fact, that's my Halloween costume for this year. I'm going to get a picture of Matt Rule's face and just, like, hang out on my front porch. All them Panther fans coming up. Ah! It's Matt Rule! That's my Halloween costume this year, y'all. It's going to be a picture of Matt Rule with an 0-16 underneath it saying, "Fire Matt Rule." That's my Halloween costume. Man, it's pretty bad when I have to say that right there. It really is. Oh, man. You think Rule has lost the team? Absolutely I do. These players don't believe in this man anymore. Why would you follow a head coach that has no idea what he's talking about half the time, lies to the people and the players in the locker room, not to mention, plus you got coordinators under him who have no clue what they're doing either. I mean, it ain't just Snow. It's not even just Matt Rule that's lost the locker room, man. It's everybody in that management except for Steve Wilkes and Scott Fitterer. Every one of these people have lost his locker room right now that are Matt Rule's people in his management. The people that aren't may have a tiny say, but, you know, they're so far down the ladder, you know, it's not going to matter. You know, and I feel bad for those people, man. They don't get a say right now because, you know, if they do say something, they might run the risk of losing their job. You know, because Matt Rule is power hungry, man. He's power hungry. He thinks that he can do no wrong. He thinks he's not making mistakes. You know, that this is meant to happen. This is part of the 7-year plan. It's not, man. There's no 7-year plan. Open your eyes, Matt. Stop living in Wizard of Oz land and come back to reality, bro. The 7-year plan never existed. Be real. Be real with us, man. Please. Man, this locker room is not going to follow that. These people make way more money than you. They got personalities bigger than you. And I'm trying to tell you, dude. The big guys in the locker room ain't going to follow you. You got to show them a spine. Yeah, he's definitely lost this team. Definitely. Rule hasn't only lost the team, he's lost himself. Facts. Facts right there. Facts. He has lost himself. He don't know what he's doing. Have we really even started a rebuild the last 3 years? Oh my God. I want to say yes and no. I want to say yes and no to that. The reason I say yes is because of the players that we do have that are actually really talented. You know, we got some really talented guys. You know, you got Jeremy Chin, you got DJ Moore, you got CMC when he's healthy, is a beast. We just recruited 2 people from the Super Bowl offensive line, and on defense, Matt, we got some talented people, man. And we're wasting all of this talent, bro, under a head coach that does not even know what he's doing. And that's why I say no. Because we don't need a rebuild at this point. We need a retooling. And the reason I say retooling is because some of these guys are in the wrong spots. We got defensive players, that are losing weight for no reason, that are becoming linebackers when they should be defensive tackles. We got Brian Burns that wants out of here because he don't want no part of this no more. We need to retool these people, man, and put them in the right spots so that we can get the most out of them. And it ain't gonna happen in a 3-3-2. That dinosaur defense. It ain't gonna happen, bro. Shoot. And then you go bring in Ben McAdoo, who, okay, granted, you can go 50-50 on whether those plays were cherry-picked or not in that video that I'm about to show y'all. But, honestly, man, we got too much talent to be going 0-3 right now. We got way too much talent. There is no excuse for it other than bad coaching. There's no excuse. And that's not an excuse, that's a reason why we're 0-2. Guys. Come on, man. We need a retooling. Put Steve Wilkes in, and I promise you, you will see that retooling process happen. You'll see it. We missed the boat on McDermott, but we still got Wilkes. We still got Wilkes. There is still hope. Now, I'm not saying he's going to take us all the way to the Super Bowl. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying he will revitalize this team. He will change it. He will change the culture back around. He will get this locker room to listen to him. I promise you. Look at the effect he's having on the DBs. He's a DB coach. Look at the effect on him. And that's... You see chemistry. You see leadership back there with Jeremy Chin. You see all these things that should be happening with the entire 53-man roster if Wilkes takes over. Why are we waiting? The answer is right there in front of us. Why are we hesitating to pull the trigger here and get this man up as head coach? Why are we waiting? There's no reason. We can fire this man right now and save this season while we still have an option to do so. Lord help this team, man, because they ain't never going to get it. Rule is a developmental coach. Thank you. Thank you. That's right. What's up, Donna B? Shout out to you. What's up, Lock Poppy? Shout out to you as well, man. Welcome on in here, man. Real talk, man. This is some crazy stuff right here. And I mean, what do y'all think? Are we winning tomorrow or not? Yeah. I don't think we are either. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm gonna be real with you. 0-3. And the reason I say that is the Saints have some playmakers, man. They got some pass rushers. And the Saints put up about what was it? How many sacks in that Tampa Bay game? What was it? 5 sacks against that line? That concerns me right there. Because we got the same problem on our offensive line that Tampa does. Our center sucks. He's below average. I shouldn't say he sucks. I should say below average. I'm going to refine that term to that right there. Because I want to see these guys do better. And I want to see the opportunities balloon for these guys. You know, to recover. Don't let yourself become a narrative. Every one of these players, don't let yourself become a narrative. You know, and right now, Pat Aflon is a narrative. That's a problem, man. That's the same problem Tampa has. They have problems at their center position too, but it's not because of poor talent. It's because of injury. That's the difference. Now, the Saints got 5 sacks against Tom Brady. What do you think they're going to do to us? Reality check. It ain't going to be pretty. With our guys struggling to hold the line in the trenches against the Browns and the Giants, it ain't going to be pretty. Now, I grant you the Giants are. I'll grant you the Browns are better than they first appeared. Well, it's the average Browns team. You know, they don't have a quarterback. They're having issues. You know, yada yada yada. Typical nonsense and smoke talk that people throw out there every year about the Browns. That Browns team said, "Nah, man. Nah. We ain't about to become a narrative." They went 2-0 instead. How about us? How about the amount of talent that we have? Why are we not 2-0? Oh, we're so close. Oh, we're this close. Oh, we're so close. We're so close every week. So close. You know that old meme? You got to be faster than that. You got to be quicker than that. Yeah. It's the old, what was that commercial, man? He was like, you got to be quicker than that. You just fishes out that dollar bill right out from under his hands before he catches it. That's us right there. We're that person trying to catch that dollar bill. That's what this team is. Every single year under Matt Rule, that is what this team is. Until we get rid of the man that is weighing us down. We haven't lost by a blowout. That's true. That's true, Dunaby. I'll give you that. I will say that. Yeah, the insurance commercial. Exactly like Poppy, yeah. I forget which one it was, but that's the reference I was making. But yeah, Matt Rule can say every week, oh, we were so close. Oh, we were this close every week. You know, that doesn't turn it into wins. We need wins. And we got this much talent, and we finally fixed our quarterback problem. Oh, last year. Oh, we got a quarterback problem. We fixed the quarterback problem. Oh, we have a line problem. We fixed the line problem. We fixed the starting 5. But Matt Rule decides oh, I don't want to play a Pro Bowl, Super Bowl winning center. Guys, it's obvious. It's plainly obvious. It's painfully obvious. That man is the reason we're not 2-0 right now. No. You can blame bad performance. You can blame poor luck all you want. You can say, oh, we're so close. Fact of the matter is, it is the Giants and it is the Browns. Fact. Simple facts. These need to be wins. And if you are not being coached properly, if you are not being told where you were supposed to be and why you were supposed to be in that spot, you know, and you're in the wrong spot because of coaching, bingo, it's not hard to figure out where the problem is. Really? Some folks still don't get it? They still don't get it? We're going to go 0-7, and people are still not going to get it, man. These folks are still not going to understand. These Matt Rule train riders, man. That blows my mind. That blows my mind right there. All these people that are still defending this man. That's maybe, 10% of the fan base right now? But there's still people riding those coattails. And guys, what is it going to take? Seriously, what is it going to take? This is ridiculous, man. Man, Matt Rule needs to be working at a McDonald's, not up here, man. Flipping burgers. You know what I'm saying? He needs to go back to college, man. Take that Nebraska job, man. Nebraska don't know what they're asking for right now. They really don't. They're going to find out. Take that job down there. Nebraska fans will find out within a year what they are dealing with, and they are going to be pissed. Man. So, and I will say this right now for Matt Rule. If you let him get about 2 years under a proper coach, you know, Pete Carroll, or under somebody like that, you know, Andy Reid, to where he truly just sits there, takes notes, watches film, and just observes how to run a team. Just learn. Take notes. Have like several notebooks, man. I'm dead serious. And just learn. You know, I feel like within 2 to 3 years, okay, let's put him with the Giants. Let's see what he learned. You know, because the Giants are a low-level team. The Jets are a low-level team. Let's see what he learned. You know? If he doesn't learn anything, send him back to college. You know, because he's not going to learn at this level. He's just not. If you can't... And I wasn't granted he was shafted an opportunity like Steve Wilkes was. No. The only team you can rightfully say that about is the Jets. Okay? Because the Jets have screwed everybody over. Everybody. Even Brett Favre. So, give him a chance with the Giants. Let's see how he learns, you know. And if he doesn't learn anything from there as an assistant, then toss him. You know? Do not give him control of the roster. Don't give him any control of anything. Just let him learn. Yeah. And I believe that's the best path for him. If he really wants to succeed in the NFL. Real talk. Because I want to see the best in everybody. I want to see everybody grow and get that chance, to succeed and get the most out of themselves, and that's why I give this advice. As much as I roast people, as much as I throw people under the bus, that's what I'm doing, man. I'm giving them that opportunity, to learn something. And if they don't want to take that advice, that's up to them. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. That's the old saying, man. And yeah, he ain't gonna make it here, man. But best of luck to him wherever he ends up, and I hope he figures it out. La Papi says if we don't win tomorrow, the season is likely over. Yeah, I mean, to be real with you, that schedule is not very pretty at all. It never was. I was projecting 6 wins to begin with. 6 to 9. And that's not going to get us a wild card. That's not going to get us a playoff berth. Unless we're lucky with the 9 wins. But I doubt it. It just ain't there, man. It ain't there. And I hate it. Even if we were playing up to our potential, and really doing what we're supposed to do, I still see us struggling, to get past 9. Even with 4 quarters of, that fourth quarter offense that we put up against the Browns, and the first half of the defense that we've been seeing, against the Browns, then yeah, we put 4 whole quarters of that together, we could possibly see 9 wins. That door was open to us, under the right coaching. Under Steve Wilkes, I could see it. But not under Matt Rule. It's not there. 6 wins max, under Matt Rule. Because he doesn't know where everybody's supposed to be. Phil Snow don't know what to do with everybody on this defense. So it's not there. So realistically, Locke, I mean, with you, this was over from the beginning. It really was. I love the optimism. Everybody's going, oh, well, we can get 10 wins. We can get a playoffs berth. I love the optimism from everybody, but at the end of the day, once you really get out of your Panther tunnel vision and take your Panthers color glasses off, it's still 6 wins. I mean, let's get back to reality. You know what I mean? We're not looking through those Panthers kaleidoscopes no more, man. It is what it is. And people are starting to actually see that now. And I hate that it took this for us to see it. I really do. Because I've been pointing this stuff out since, training camp. So, even before that. Man, shout out to Tyler Hills, the Facebook YouTuber, streamer. I should say streamer, because he's been doing some stuff on Facebook groups on streaming. But I love his content, man. Thank you for coming in here and checking out this channel, man. That's what's up. Hopefully I'll be able to catch one of your streams at some point. I'll jump in the chat, And shout out to all the Panthers streamers out there, man, doing this work. And I heard Big Cat's going to be in the stadium on Sunday. He was traveling up there today. So, that's what's up, man. Hope they get a win for you. But if they don't be surprised, man. I love that winning energy y'all keep bringing up there in there, man. But it may not be enough. Yeah, Tampa's O-line and D-line are down players. Exactly, man. And that's why you see Tampa only putting up 20 points against the Saints. Yeah. And granted, we got the players. That's not the problem. We're not putting them in the right places, to succeed with them. So it's a mess, man. It really is. And the Saints players are going to take full advantage of that. They don't even need Sean Payton to figure that out. They've seen some of this stuff. They're looking at that 3-3-2 dinosaur defense on tape right now. They're going, ooh, I see some opportunities. Man, hand this ball to Kamara. If he's healthy, man. He's going to run circles around these guys. Even half hurt. He could be running that ball with a limp on a draw play and still get 5 yards out of that. I mean, sheesh. That's how much trouble we're having, man. We got to bring safeties up. We got to focus 100% on the run. That left us open. That's why that one wide receiver last week had such a field day on us that we've never even heard of. I mean, who even is that dude? I'm trying to tell you, man. Yeah, we did shut down the run. But did we shut down the pass? That's what killed us. You got to have both. And if you don't have the personnel for both, you cannot run a 3-4. You cannot run a 4-3. You cannot run a 3-3-2. If you do not have the correct personnel to run it correctly. Phil Snow, with all due respect, you are screwing up. You asked for the wrong players, and it has cost you. And now you're trying to backpedal and look for excuses to use, and say, well, we were so close. We did this. Y'all want to pull some nonsense with the stats, man? I could do that all day. I could debate you all day on stats. Come on, bring it on. I'll tell you what we're failing in. You tell me what we're succeeding in. We can do this all day, Coach Snow. End of the day, it's excuses. You know what I'm saying? Like, for not getting the right personnel in the first place. Yeah, we stopped the run. Yeah, we did all this. But you're taking people out of positions that they're not naturally supposed to. Why are these people having to do double duty, triple duty? Trying to stop the run, trying to stop these little screen passes when they need to be out there doing their jobs as safeties. You know what I mean? When you hire somebody to be a safety, they're a safety. Yeah, you bring them in for blitz packages every once in a while. But so what? For the most part, 75% of that game, they're back there as a safety. They are there to help you cover wide receivers and back up the corners. That is their job. Literally. They're the last safety net on this team, and you're using him incorrectly. Because you did not bring in the right personnel on the D-line. Now, whose fault is that really? And I heard Bravion Roy is being activated off the practice squad back to the 53. Thank God. Finally. That is one of the only run stoppers that we actually had on this defense. What he was even doing on that practice squad to begin with pisses me off. I have no answers for that. I went on. Oh my God, man! Don't even get me started on that. That's more Matt Rule mismanagement of this roster. Okay, Browns look good. Yes, they did. They actually did beat the Steelers, so yes, they do look better than everybody thinks they are. We hadn't lost by a blowout. That's true. We got robbed by the Browns that were hurt. True. They had injuries. But it's no excuse. We had to play all 4 quarters so we don't have to play catch-up. Exactly, David Screws. Exactly. Amen. And whose fault is that we're not playing 4 whole quarters? And this defense, after the 3rd quarter, hands on hips, just exhausted out there. Whose fault is that? It ain't Baker's. Get off of him, man. I'm so tired of everybody blaming Baker when he's not even the reason that we are losing these games. Everybody wants to find a trigger man that they want to throw shade at when we lose these games. Throw it at the person that actually deserves that blame. The person that got these personnel to begin with that are failing right now. And these players are who we thought they were. These players are who I called them out to be. You want to change that if you're one of those players? Go out there and prove it to us. Don't just talk the talk, walk the walk. Break that narrative. You know what I'm saying? Fans are tired of excuses. Amen, Donna. Yes. We're fed up. We are fed up, man. Football is a team sport. Stop running a vanilla offense now. We'll talk about that one, man. We'll talk about that one. It does seem like a vanilla offense, though. And, I mean, you can make the argument that some of these plays were cherry-picked. I'm going to run that tape in a minute. But I want to run through this chat first because we got a lot of people to go through here. We need a veteran NFL coach. Yes. Our offense is too stale under this coaching staff. True. Let's pray that CMC is not running to the ground or injured. Truth. I mean, I love what he said this week, man. If y'all didn't catch that, this man said he could take a leak on the field during practice and they would still put him on the injured reserve list. Man, he's not wrong. He's not wrong, y'all. Oh my god. That cracked me up so bad when I saw that. I was like, oh my god. Yeah, if we can't beat the Saints, I see us beating the Bucks. I don't see us beating the Bucks twice or any of these NFC West teams. Facts, dude. It's unfortunate, but it's sadly the truth. Yeah, we're definitely not beating the Rams. That's not happening. Definitely not happening. Rams have full control right now. You know, and Seattle's going to be tough. 49ers are going to be tough. You know, they're going to come in there and they're going to see an opportunity. They're going to treat us like shark bait, and they're going to come in and they're going to fight, man. Man, I'm telling you. It's unfortunate, but it's sadly the truth. Yep. It's sad when you watch your own team and that feeling of losing comes over you every game. The keep pounding chants are basically gone and buried. It's sad. It is, man. Where's the keep pounding drum? Where's the keep pounding drum? Bring back the drum. Yes. 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 Bring back the drum. Whether we're win, losing, or going in overtime, we need that drum, man. We need that keep pounding drum. We need those chants in the stadium. We need them louder at those times than ever. When we're going 0-7, 0-8, 0-9, We need those drums even louder. You know? Make them louder. Let's resurrect those keep pounding chants for Halloween season. Bring it back from the dead now. Stop the circus clown show. Enough is enough. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Keep pounding still means something, y'all. It still does. Whether we're winning or losing, it still means something. And this little generated animated Panther is cool, man, but it ain't keep pounding. No. Y'all trying to do too much with that. As much as I like that, we need to get back to the tried and true keep pounding chants. I mean, that's what brings these teams back. You know, when we're down 14 points, when we're down like 17 points, look at this team revitalize themselves after they hear that keep pounding chat. Watch them, man. It puts new energy. It puts a new spark in them. It puts a new fire in them to play harder. And to get rid of that chant and to get rid of that drum takes away that element. That's one of the advantages we have on this team. And we... What are y'all doing with it? Panthers best fans ever, man. That's facts. That's facts. Some of y'all I got questions about, but you know, I'm gonna be real with y'all. Some of y'all I got questions about, even after this week. Oof. I've seen some wild stuff this week from this fan base, but you know, losing brings out the weird ones from the closet, man. From their closet dwelling places. But hey, I got love for all of y'all, man. I do. I got love for this entire fan base. Even as wild and crazy as y'all are. But this crew, man, this crew I love a lot. Because y'all come up in here and y'all keep it real, man. You know? And I mean, yeah, it might be a road to 2-15, but y'all are keeping it real. And I love that. That's what we need. You know, we gotta call this team out on their nonsense. And we gotta recover this team, man. We need a new beginning. New coach, new beginning. You know, I love that. Thank you, Xana. I don't know if I'm saying your name right. Xana, right? Hey, shout out to you. I'm not the best at pronouncing names, so please forgive me if I do. You know, please forgive. You know, please do correct me if I do get names wrong. I'm open to it. Then your lunch break is over. Keep up the great content. Appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate you coming up in here, Donna. Thank you so much. You know, if you're not subbed already, folks, come on up in here and sub. If you don't want to, that's up to you. But if you're enjoying the content, go for it, man. You know, we're a family up in here. We're a crew. And we stick together, you know. North Carolina, South Carolina, all over the world, man. We're a family. We're a crew. Whether it be 2-15, whether it be a Super Bowl run. You know what I'm saying? We're a crew. Don't ever forget that. Alright, so. Vietnam says, the way I see it is that Moten is not as good as he has been, and the O-line has suffered from it. Him and Corbett haven't opened any holes on that side to run through. Corbett every once in a while will open up a hole, man. You know? for Chuba, and that's how you properly judge how good of a job he's doing as Chuba, because CMC will run through those holes anytime. He's CMC, but Chuba is a backup running back. He's one of the better top 5 backup running backs when he's not fumbling, when he's not dropping passes. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is how you properly judge how Taylor Moton is really doing over there, and Corbett, because if they're able to open up gaps for him, and manage to get him about 3 to 4 yards, that's how you know, like, okay, they're doing all right. We don't have to worry about them. But when, and true, you do have to worry about the matchups, though. And the matchups can shut down or negate Taylor Moton. It has happened. And they will negate Corbett as well in certain situations. And those matchups are only going to get tougher. So, matchups do have a lot to do with it. But in the last 2 weeks, not as much. But yeah, Chuba, when you see Chuba running a draw or an ISO, that's when you can truly understand, are these two doing their job correctly or not? Run blocking. Don't judge it by CMC. Don't judge it by Foreman. Judge it by Chuba. Because Chuba represents your above average running. The O-line isn't the issue. It's the stale play call and the stale no adjustment coaching we have. That's half the reason. But the O-line depth is a problem still. And, I don't feel confident with it at all. We have average to below average depth. And a couple of rookies, So, until we see what those rookies can do, I'm still calling it average, as far as the rookies are concerned right now. Show me a good preseason with the rookies going into the first year of their going into their second year of their NFL careers. Then we'll see. I want to watch them through training camp. I want to watch them through preseason. Then we'll get a pretty good judge. I've seen them through training camp this year. I've seen them through training preseason this year. But I need 2 solid years to really get a full judgment on these guys. Then we'll know. Are we average in depth or are we okay? But it's guys like Pat Eflin, guys like that, man. That need to be sitting in this on the bench in second string. Those are the reasons why I'm not comfortable with our depth. And if we put Pat Bozeman in, I feel like we would get more stability on the line. Better snaps, solid leadership on the line, He's a former Super Bowler, man. And he'll compliment Corbett, Those two have already worked together. Why break up that chemistry? No one else has pointed this out. Keep those two together on the starting 5 and you've got chemistry. These two have seen a lot. And when they're working together, side by side, like they were with the Rams, good things will start to happen. You'll start to see these guys, these two specifically, start to win those battles in the trenches. But, if you don't put them in, how will you know? How will you know? So it's not all on Baker. I'm tired of hearing all this. Oh, well, it's on Baker. You know why we lost 2 games? No, it's not. I mean, yeah, Baker's stats don't look spectacular, but I mean they're adequate. You know, he got us down the field into field goal range last game several times. I mean, yeah, you only saw 1 touchdown, but let's see if we can put more up on the board. And Ben McAdoo, I don't know if Ben McAdoo is capable of doing that. And that brings up another point I wanted to make. Okay. And most people have missed this one. I got a theory on why DJ is not getting these balls. Now, you have to ask yourself 2 questions when it comes to DJ. 1, is he being doubled out there for most of the game? Or 2, is Ben McAdoo giving him the wrong routes to run? If you guess number 2, ding, 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 ding. Come on, man. Because it ain't the first one. He ain't being doubled. If he was being doubled, Baker wouldn't even look at him. And I guarantee you, DJ has to be your number 1 look on this offense. If he's not your number 1 look, you're doing something wrong. If he's not your number 1 look on at least 50% of these plays, you know, he's your starting look. Number 2 is Robbie. Number 3 is maybe, you know, your slot receiver or a tight end, depending on what play you're running. You know, if DJ is not one of your main looks and he's one-on-one, you're doing something wrong, play calling wise. You are not utilizing him to his. Why you see this man get so low numbers right now. I mean, it's not complicated to figure this one out, folks. To be honest, I don't know who we can beat. Yeah, I agree. I had us beating the Lions, Seahawks, and maybe the 49ers, but heck, we're awful. Yeah, man. The Lions now have... aren't they 1-1? Let me double check that. What is the Lions' record? Detroit record. Yeah, Lions are 1-1. Alright. But they are better than you think they are right now. So, to be fair, we may have trouble with them. Seahawks we're definitely going to have trouble with. Niners play a lot tougher than their roster shows you, but you know they've got some weaponry down there. They're hiding it pretty well. I will say that. But yeah, they got a couple playmakers. I'll point them out when we play these guys, man, but right now I don't want to give too much away because it's too early. It's way too early, way too soon. We need to be focused on the Saints. So, Lions scored in the 30s, Seattle defense for us. Yep. Facts. Facts. That's straight facts. And those aren't even the people I was going to even mention. We are definitely trash, Vietnam says. Yeah. Unfortunately so. I know, right? But hopefully when the Saints put up 45 on us tomorrow, we can fire the real problem. Rule out snowfall. I like those hashtags right there. Snowfall, I like that. I didn't even thought of that one, but good one. Well, at least we're in line for a top 3 pick. That's true, Vietnam. Good point. I like that thinking right there. Because that thinking right there is actually what's going to help start to get this franchise back in order again. Because, let me remind you, Scott Fitter is still our GM. And this man is being handicapped because of Matt Rule. Once Matt Rule is gone, watch what happens in the next 2 years. You will not see results until probably 2024, as far as like a real playoff contender type team, but you will see results in 23 on the stats sheet. That's where you need to start looking for it. Because you'll start to see some of these numbers go up, 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 for the playmakers. I'm talking DJ. I'm talking, all these people that were putting up numbers, like they were, in the first year when Matt Rule first got here, and was struggling, and some of these players that were not balling out previously will start to ball out. They'll come out of their comfort zone. They'll start breaking those glass ceilings. They'll start doing better. Once you get rid of Phil Snow, once you get rid of Ben McAdoo and Matt Rule. I guarantee it. I can guarantee it. You give Scott Fitter full control, of the draft, free agency, and opportunities to get players for us. And I guarantee you, through trades, this man is a trade mastermind. I've never seen anything like it in the league, and we will probably never see anything like it again. Once he's gone. We are so thankful that he is still with us right now. And he has not jumped ship. Thank you, Scott, for sticking around, man. Thank you. Man, we owe you for that. We owe you for all the success that you have given us so far. That has kept us from being a 2-win season every year. Because I guarantee you, without him, that's exactly where we would be with Matt Rule and this crew. And those drum beats would be like so much louder without Scotty in here, man. Real talk. And it would not take as long to get rid of Matt Rule and his crew. That's the truth right there. I like that thinking though, Vietnam. I do. That's thinking positively, and that's thinking optimistically about our future right there. That's not just thinking about where we are right now. That's thinking, a year, almost a year down the road. That's beautiful right there. I like these people that are already, thinking ahead and be like, okay, what can we do with this? Turning lemons into lemonade with the draft. That's good. We already know we're not making the playoffs. We already know we're not doing anything this year. I already told y'all that several times over. But the people that are thinking, okay, we got a top 10 pick, we got a top 3 pick, we got a chance to pick up some people in free agency once we clear out that $30 million in the red, for next year. That's the type of thinking we need right now, because that's what's going to start turning us around. And I'm tired of all this. Oh well, we still got a chance this year. I don't care about this season, man. I really don't. Frankly, I've already tossed it in the trash. And anybody that is realistic has to. Because under Matt Rule, you've already tossed it. Let's be real. I called that even before we started the season. I called that before we even started the season. Before that first kickoff even happened. And I'm not trying to be, the negative Nancy. The Panthers are complete trash. No, I'm trying to say top 10 pick. This is the players that we could get with a top 10 pick. This is what we could do with free agency. This is what we could do, with this opportunity, in the offseason next year. I'm already thinking ahead, y'all. I'm already thinking way ahead. Y'all think I'm stuck on this 0-2 business. No, I'm not. Not at all. Not at all. If we take that high Strouder, maybe Anderson will go with Corral. Maybe. Scott Fitter is the only good thing in this front office staff. Facts. Say it louder. Say it louder for the people that want to throw Scott Fitter under the bus. Y'all know y'all are wrong for that. Leave Scott Fitter alone. I will defend this man to the moon for what I've seen so far. Yes, he screwed up on the Sam Darnold trade. Yeah, that was a big screw up. But I'll tell you what, that was the only black mark on this man's resume so far as a Panthers GM. And I am willing to overlook that. Because Sam is an average quarterback. So I'm willing to overlook that, man. That's a backup to Baker Mayfield right now. Which is exactly where we are. Scott went around Matt Rule on that one. And he found a way to make that happen. And I like it. So, there's certain ways you can go around Matt Rule and make things work, But you got to be careful, man, because be very, very careful what eggshells you decide to step around, But you could pull some tricks, man. You could pull some rabbit tricks and get away with it possibly. You got a little way, Scott. It's going to be tricky, man. But you got some leeway. People don't realize how smart I actually am. Man, thank you so much. That's very kind of you to say, Lock Poppy. But, I'm just a humble Panthers fan, just trying to make this team better, I want the best for this team. And, it takes a lot of work. It takes research. It takes time. It takes effort to really put all this info together, man. And really try to offer advice to this team, to take or do whatever they want with it. So I'm just a humble Panthers fan, just trying to, and I'm doing all this for free too. I don't want money. I never once asked for money. I'm doing this to educate people, man, because people need the cold, hard facts. You know what I mean? Some of these people in this fan base don't know what to do with these cold, hard facts, man. They laugh at me. They make me look like a fool, with their laughing emojis and stuff, man. And I'm just like, man, look. Come back to me when you all want to take this team seriously again. Real talk. And that's what we all doing here in this crew, man. We're taking this team seriously. And I appreciate each and every one of y'all for taking this team seriously and coming up in here and legitimately wanted to start these conversations, man. These painful conversations that we have to have, in order to grow as a franchise. So, it's tough, man. It's hard. But we got to keep pounding through it. That's real talk, man. We got to keep pounding through it. Whether we want to or not. Because this team deserves that. We deserve better than what we're getting right now. And we're trying to offer those solutions to help get us to that point. So, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, man, thank you. Stick around, because there's a lot more to come. And I am real from day one to the end, man. Every second I spend doing this stuff, man, I'm real. I am who. I don't just walk the walk, I talk the talk, man. And that's all you should expect to get from me. I don't put on some fake facade just to entertain people. Nah, man, I'm here to be frank, straight, and real with everybody. Because that's what we need right now. We're in that pit, man, as a franchise, and we need something. We need strong leaders, that come out here and are real about this stuff. Don't put a clown happy face, Don't put a red nose or a wig on, Nah, enough of that. Come out here and be real about it, man. Spit facts. Because that's how we're going to start to fix things. And no disrespect to the people that are really good entertainers, in the fan base, that are YouTubers. Man, good for y'all, man. That's what works for your channel. You know what I mean? But that's not what we do here. It's unique here. We come out here and we call it like we see it. So, if it's a player that needs tough love, it's a player that needs tough love. If it's a coaching staff that needs tough love or replacing, it's a coaching staff that needs tough love or replacing. No disrespect to the people that are in those positions, because I love all of y'all, man. I just wish y'all had done a better job. Then you could have kept your jobs, But you can't just come in here and bring that college level thinking and think it's going to work up here. It ain't. It ain't. Some of these coaches are delusional, bro. I'm telling you. And it's the Eagles are still recovering from the Chip Kelly era, So think about that. You know what I mean? Like, they made a big mistake too. Don't think we're the only ones that have made a mistake in the last 20 years. We're not. Oh, no, we're not. Not at all. The Jets are still making mistakes. I'm going to be real with y'all. The Jets are still making mistakes. So, we could be them, We could be the Detroit Lions that went on a 26-game losing streak, We could be them. I mean, although we're close to that 16 mark, which is really bad, but still. I'm going to say this, man. It's a sad day when the Jets find a way to win before you do. It's a sad day when the Browns find a way to win before you do. And it's a sad day when the Lions, of all teams, find a way to win before you do. That's when you know you're in the bottom of the barrel. And that's where we are right now. And Mr. Tepper, with all due respect, man, we've been talking about this stuff, man. I could have a fireside chat with this dude, man, and tell him, we've been talking about this stuff, man. This is how you fix it. It's up to you. You can keep playing that hedge fund manager card all you want, man. It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work in the NFL. So, Phenom says, I think if you fire Phil Snow and let Wilks take over, the defense would be much better and maybe Burns will want to stay. Yes, he will. Yes, he will. And I will tell you why. Because Burns respects Wilks. He respects the fact that Wilks stood up against Phil Snow and said, enough of this garbage. The 3-3-2 does not work. He respects Wilks way before even today. Way before even all that stuff came out that Cody said. He's always had respect for Wilks. So, to me, yeah, there are people that are criticizing Burns' play, but, to me, it's just noise under a bridge. I like Burns right now. I think he's got potential. I'm going by what I see. I don't go by what everybody else sees. Although I listen to what everybody else says, and I say, okay, I'll take these tidbits, I'll give proper respect where it's due, but still, to me, Burns is a pretty decent defensive end, man. He's a Pro Bowler. He made the Pro Bowl. So, let's not forget that. So he's got skills, man. But how are you using him, though? That's what matters. And to me, if he can make a Pro Bowl in a 3-3-2 defense or a hybrid 4-3 defense, as we like to call it with Phil Snow, imagine what he can do without being restricted. You know what I mean? Without those handicaps on him. Being coached properly. That is why we drafted this man. In my opinion. That's why he's here. And I think Scott Fitterer saw that as well. And he said, hold up. I know Matt Rule is saying da-da-da-da-da about Brian Burns. But let's give this man a little bit longer. You know what I mean? With proper coaching. He sees the vision too. I promise you he does. Everything that we're seeing right now, Scott Fitterer sees it. It's just a matter of going around Matt Rule to make it happen. And that's been the problem. He's been having to walk on eggshells just to get anything done. And it sucks. I hate it for Scott, man. Dude, I feel for this dude right now, man. I do. Well, I would love to be in his shoes right now. I would love to be able to do what he's doing right now and help him out as an assistant, and wait out Matt Rule's departure. That would be so fun, man. God. Just to be in that assistant GM chair and just learn everything I can from this man would be amazing. Because I would learn so much. A lot of what I could not show you guys, of course. But, I would learn so much. And, to watch this team blossom under the right coaching and with Scott would be an absolute gift. An absolute blessing. I think it's possible, man. But, yeah, Phil needs to go. Wilks is the right man. Lock Poppy says, you've been saying we're not going anywhere with Matt Rule. It's a fact. It's a fact. I mean, I don't even know why we're spending an hour talking about this. Now 2 hours talking about Matt Rule, when obviously it's plainly obvious we're not going anywhere with him. You know, you can trim the tree all you want, but unless you get rid of the rotten roots, it's still going to be a rotten tree. Point freaking blank. I mean, bare bones real with it. Fayetano says, or we could just let Rule lead us to the first overall pick. I mean, true. True. You got a point there. Man's got a point. You can't argue with that at this point. As much as I would hate to see it an over season, you know, or a 2-win season, he's got a point. A number 1 pick, we could do a lot with that with the proper coaching. And Scott Fitterer at the helm. He's got a legit point, folks. We're poised at like top 5 right now, but a number 1, man, we're already the joke of the leagues. So I mean, so what? We're gonna stay that way until Matt Rule's gone. But that's all we have to look forward to. But then we draft the wrong people. Brown, J.C. Horn instead of Justin Fields, Herbert, or Tua. Alright. This is where I'm gonna have to disagree with you, Fayetano, because look, man. Alright. Let's start with I'm going to agree with you on Derek Brown. But I want to say something before we start getting into a couple of those names there in chat that he just mentioned. And I'm going to go case by case, you know, on those drafts. Why those guys were picked. But here's the reasoning. Half of these guys that we got were Matt Rule people. More than half. Matt Rule is handicapping Scott by controlling all of the scouts and who they scout. Okay? So, all the staff members, Phil Snow, Ben McAdoo, Matt Rule, are the ones controlling the scouts. Consider that for a moment. Then you got Scott Fitterer's scouts, which conflict with those. Now, if I'm Scott Fitterer and I'm 1 year into my job and I'm afraid to lose my job, what do you think would happen? I'm going to cave that first year. I'm going to say, okay, Matt Rule, I'll let your people run this draft. Let's see what happens. You know? Although I'm going to take at least 2 or 3 of these picks myself. You know, and let's just see if we can get some winners out. You know, without really saying so. You know, we'll get a couple of winners. So keep that in mind. Whenever you see Matt Rule with Scott Fitterer in that draft room, Matt Rule has complete control of the scouting board. So everything that goes on those scouting boards goes up to Scott. Scott has to pick from those scouting boards, okay, these are the players that will be on the board when, based on what was on those boards, I think he did okay. You know, I'm not going to say great, but I'm going to say I think he did okay. You know, the best he could do based on what he was given. Minus all the stuff that he picked out himself, which were great picks. You know, based on what was on the board and what was not taken during those situations. and I want to say that again with emphasis, who was not taken during those situations. Okay. In J.C. Horn's case, it was who was taken before us. Consider who was taken. We had our eye on a very, very good offensive tackle. Detroit got him. And now they don't even know what they're doing with him. They've got him on the other side of the line, for goodness sakes. I mean, that was supposed to be our pick. And they got him one pick before us. I'm still salty about that, by the way. In case anybody hasn't noticed. Still salty. Alright, so in the case of Derek Brown, yes, that pick was a bust. Now, when you're talking players like Justin Fields has not done much of anything. Let's be real, man. Justin Fields is a bust. Thus far. Now, I'm not saying he won't turn into something later on, but right now, I'm saying Justin Fields is a bust. Let him change that narrative. Prove us wrong. You know, all the people that are anti Justin Fields right now, prove us wrong. Let him prove that narrative wrong. If you truly believe in him. If you truly believe in your guy, Justin, let's do it. Alright, so Herbert. Now Herbert, I will agree with you on. Because Herbert was kind of one of those like under the radar guys that yeah, people were talking about him, but he didn't really turn any heads, you know, in that draft. So everybody's like, well, it's Justin Herbert. Let's see how he does, you know. And the Chargers grabbed him, and lo and behold, he actually does pretty well. So he's one of those that is a case in point example of you don't know until you draft them what they're gonna do. Sometimes, some of these like average level quarterbacks, you know, or above average level quarterbacks in college, can turn out to be Pro Bowlers. I mean, for goodness sakes, look at. We got a few examples in the league right now of that right there. And that comes from proper coaching. That comes from proper technique and etiquette and arm accuracy, you know. And doing your research, doing film study, you know. And showcasing the skills that you already had during college into the NFL with that developmental process in place. You know, correctly used. Which we do not have that developmental process correctly used here. Which brings me to Tua. Now, Tua is a definite product of that process shaping and evolving him from how good he already was into what he is now. And he is exactly what everybody was hyping him up to be. I'll agree with you on Tua. We had an opportunity on him. But here's the key word here. But we needed offensive line help. Otherwise, anybody we get at quarterback, that's a nullified conversation. It would not matter. These people would be running for their life. Tua would be running for his life. You know, Justin Fields would be running for his life. Herbert would be running for his life. Without the proper protection on the offensive line, which we refuse to address until this year. With Brady Christensen. And with Deontay Brown, who turned out to be a bust. But now with Cade Mays. So, I wish, and now Icky as well. So I wish to see, with that proper Matt Rule, how well these quarterbacks can actually do. That's 2 or 3 years after the fact of when we should have been fixing this line to begin with. And frankly, it should have been started to be fixed during the Marty Hurnley era. Marty should have fixed this thing, man. In the amount of time it took to get Marty fired and to put Scott Fitterer in place, that line should have already been fixed. And then some. We should have been reloading by now. Then you can talk about people like Herbert or Tua, you know, and J.C. Horn versus, okay, well, who else is on the board? You know what I mean? Then you could have those conversations. And at the time we got Derek Brown, and I'm not defending Derek Brown at this point because Derek Brown's turned into a bust. However, in my opinion, you know, all due respect to him, it is a bust. Let's call it what it is. He hasn't done much. But at the time, we needed a defensive run stopper, which Derek Brown was. You know, and you look at the scouting report, and he looked good. You know, does he fit the system that we were trying to run at the time? No. But was he a run stopper? Yes. That's the box we were trying to check. And we did check that box, but was he the right man? Probably not. So, I mean, you want to get into details on specific players, you know, that we could or did not draft, you know. There's specific reasons for each one and specific reasons why not. You know, a lot of it can be determined by what we needed at the time, number one. Number two, it could be determined by what's available, you know. Who hasn't been drafted? Who do you have on your board still at number 2, number 3, number 4 down the list? You know? And you can do all the mock drafts in the world. The real thing is going to screw up your plans. 9 times out of 10, it is. Now, I've run at least 100 mock drafts in the last 2 years alone. And how many of those actually came true? How many of those actually were actually accurate? Case in point. You know, the real thing on the 28th, 29th, and 30th is a totally different animal than what you've been mock drafting sometimes. And you have to make adjustments for it. And Scott Fitterer is becoming very, very good at doing just that. Based on what we need and based on what we're trying to fill. But he can only do what he can do based on what these scouting reports are given to him. You know, based on the players that Matt Rule, Phil Snow, and Ben McAdoo want to draft. Point blank, that it's that simple. He's handicapped to what they're giving him. And I mean, I want to say that we could draft good people had we not had that handicap, but unfortunately, it's there. And it's going to remain there until you clean house. And leave Scott Fitterer there and leave Steve Wilkes there. It's going to remain there. So, what do you do about that? Wait it out. If you're Scott. Just wait it out. That's all I can tell you, man. Just let Matt Rule fail on his own accord. You know, if we keep losing games, so be it. Until Tepper fires him. It has to happen eventually. Because, frankly, the fans are not going to put up with too much more of this. Point blank. We're not. We're tired of losing. This has now been an entire half of a season's worth of games that we have not won. Including 2 of those losses to the Giants. What's it going to take? But yeah, drafting wise, I can talk about that because I have some knowledge on that stuff. You know, on the drafting process, and who's there versus who isn't. But as far as like scouting reports and stuff like that, some people are better in this group than others at that, and I kind of defer that to them. I've got about 2 or 3 people that are good at that. So, around that time of year, we'll have those people, you know, jump on here and try to figure this stuff out and give us the best players available. You know, so I can make my mock drafts better and better and better and better. But at the same time, I have to do the work myself, you know, and film study and look at the stats and everything else, you know. All this info that comes flowing in, and it's a lot, folks. God, it's a lot. Y'all have no idea how much info comes flowing in around March and April. You know, and I've got to decipher, okay, what is the best look for us on draft weekend? You know, rounds 1 through 7. What are we looking at? What is our best looking mock draft that we can build? And it takes a few weeks. It's not perfect by the time it's finished. But it starts to look a little bit more consistent after that 3rd week. You know, after I've started really researching some of these guys and getting a beat on them, you know? So, alright, so let's talk about who we need right now. What positions we need right now. And it's never too early to start scouting earlier in the season too. Or draft day, you know. And make sure that we pick the right guy. And everybody's going to have a different opinion. And that's fine. You know, there's no right or wrong opinion here. You know, it's more so, you know, this is the guy that you think is the best choice versus the guy I think is the best choice. You know, I can throw out my counter arguments and we can have proper debates on these people. You know, it's fine. I would love to talk about future scouted players, you know. End of the day, this is the goal. Super Bowl 50. You know, was the last Super Bowl we were in? That Lombardi is the goal. Always has been, always will be. But it's bigger than just that Lombardi. And let me tell you something. When we became NFC champs and represented ourselves in that Super Bowl, our players became household names. Role models. To kids coming into the game. You know, youth players, you know, that are just starting to get into football, that are just starting to learn more about the game, you know, from other countries and people that have never heard of us before. We're starting to really understand, you know, this is what the American football really is and what we do, you know, and who real role models should be for the league. You know? Not people that are out there trying to have Deflategate or Spygate, none of that stuff. None of this, oh, well, we're paying players to hurt other players nonsense. Nah, man. That's not proper role models. We're proper role models in 2015 for the game, in my opinion. And that's what I want to get back to. Silver prize. You know, the second place prize. You know what I mean? Yeah, we didn't get a Lombardi. Yeah, our players didn't get rings. But think about it, man. In the broad scope of things, look how much of an impact we made on the game. Look how much everybody wants to actually do the right thing. You know, and play the game the right way. You know, and play it with excitement and passion. And that's what Cam Newton brought. Was excitement, passion, love for the game. You know, you could tell that man just enjoyed being out there. And that's, you know, so did Luke, so did Thomas Davis, so did Greg Olsen. You could tell all of these guys. You could tell they all loved the game and they were just passionate out there, man. That's what I want this team to become again. That's the goal. You know, because if we come out there, we bring everything we've got onto the table, we leave everything on that field, and we get those points, man. Win, lose, or overtime, you know, we still know that we gave it our best. And yes, before Jonathan Stewart gets on here on this video that I'm about to show y'all about this offense, yes, you can't be perfect every play. This isn't Madden, you know. I recognize that. But when you give 110% every play and you come out and you play like you want it, you know, for 4 whole quarters until that clock hits 000, that's the effort I'm looking for. And you expected that every single game from these boys in 14 and 15. You knew what to expect, didn't you? You didn't have to question it. You knew these guys were going to come out here and ball out. You knew these guys were going to come out here, this team to become again. God, I was so proud of that 14 and 15 crew. Y'all have no idea. This was before I started this channel, and I was like, yes, 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 yes. That's the bar I want forever for this team to reach, right there. And I said that every week. For the people that know me best, that have been following me before I started YouTube, y'all know that's what I was preaching. Every week. I was like, I am doggone proud of these people, man. That's a crew I can be proud of. 100% proud of. And not even hesitate to root for. Not even for a fraction of a second. Man, shoot. When you put 110% into what you do, I don't care what it is, whatever job you have, whatever personal life, whatever family life you have, put 110% into it, man. You'll see results. I guarantee you'll see results. And when you keep pounding through all those challenges, and you keep pounding through all those rough spots in your life, man, this is bigger than football, folks. This is bigger than football. This is what this motto means on this channel. That you see right there. You see right there, folks. That's what that motto means. Keep pounding through all those challenges. And I guarantee you will see your life become so much better than it was before. So much less depressing, so much less frustrating, so much less angry and triggering. Keep pounding through it all. Whatever it is. God, that's a life lesson, y'all. That's why I don't just say keep pounding. I say keep pounding. You know, I'm shouting it, y'all. Y'all don't even understand this because, come on, man. All these people coming up in here, man. I want to say thank you so much for all the love and support, man, because y'all understand this. And it's beautiful. And y'all are starting to see those changes in your lives, aren't you? Y'all are starting to see it. And I think it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Man, I'm here for all of y'all, man. I'm here for all of y'all. My DMs and PMs are open for anybody that wants to talk to me. Whatever you're going through. This is bigger than football. And I'm here for y'all, man. Real talk. If y'all want to talk Panthers stuff, we can talk Panthers stuff too, you know? I love that too. But, you know, if you are genuinely struggling, man, and you just need some words of encouragement, some keep pounding, you know, I'm here for y'all, man. Come on in. Come on in, man. The water's fine. Real talk, I'm here for y'all, man. We're a family. We're a crew. We gotta take care of each other. So, Vietnam says, we definitely need a franchise center and a very good quarterback. We already got a franchise center. He's sitting on our bench right now. Why are we not starting him? Somebody please tell me why we're not starting him. And don't give me the height issue, man. Don't give me the height excuse. Because I've heard that one all week. And that's some nonsense. Look at Russell Wilson. He's short. Look at the success he's having. Come on. That's like saying, oh, his arm is too short. You know, that's the Matt Rule excuse. Come on, get that Matt Rule excuse out of here. I don't want to hear that no more. Man, please. Defensive end, run stuffing defensive tackle. Right, man. That's what we need. That's exactly what we need right there. David Screws. And I happen to know this dude does food delivery and stuff, man. But he's been grinding since 8:30 a.m. still going. And he goes till like 4 a.m. I've seen this dude go till like 3 or 4 a.m. And I mean, this dude just grinds, man. That's exactly what I'm talking about right there. That's the definition of putting 110% into what you do. Real talk. Panthers players, man, if you're listening to this, use this as an example, man. Real talk. Put 110% into what you do, and I swear you will see it. I swear you will see it. Whether it be in the weight room, whether it be at practices, whether it be in the meeting rooms, you know, film study, or on the field on game day. Put 110% into what you do, and I swear it will pay off tenfold. Look at Ben Boulware. If anybody's been paying attention to Ben Boulware, I mean, that dude is the human embodiment of putting 110% into what you do. Human embodiment. And most people don't even know who he is that are Panthers fans because they don't even pay attention to the people that drop off the training camp numbers, you know? They think he's just, he's just a cut. He's the camp body. No, he's a lot more than that, folks. And that's why I was pushing so doggone hard to get this man on our 53-man roster, because the advantages this man could give us back then, when we truly needed it, around 2017. Yes, we had too many linebackers at the time, but think about the things he would bring us, man. Locker room leadership. 110% effort. Energy. And motivation to come out there and win. And just the overall personality of who he is. I mean, that right there is enough to stir up a locker room. I don't care how good your players are or not good. These guys will come out there and they will want to play for you if you bring those elements in. And that's what we need. We need a culture change, man. Real talk. Point blank. Give 110%, man. That's it. David says, I give my all. Come on, man. We're supposed to be a scary team, and our logo is a panther. I'm tired of being mediocre. It's ridiculous. We're supposed to attack and dominate every single day and every game day. Facts. Facts, man. Say it again for the people that ain't listening, man. God. And Tapper wants to talk about, he's tired of the mediocrity. And I know you got that line from our stream, because I'm the only one that said it. But, be that as it may, I'm going to be humble about it. And I'm going to say, act on that. Follow up on that. If you believe that you do not want to see mediocrity in Carolina, follow up on it. Act on it. Get rid of Matt Rule. Bozeman is not on the injury reports. It's the clown show. Wow. Wow. Bozeman is probably good, but he is 30 or so. We need a young center. It don't matter if he's 30. He just won a Super Bowl, for goodness sakes, man. You not going to put him in? He just proved himself in preseason and in training camp. What more do you want from him? What more are you looking for to qualify him for a starter job? Now, with all due respect, man, what are you looking for? Legit question. He's a veteran center, and that's what we need, bro. Exactly. And I'm telling you, man, I don't want to hear the height excuse. The height excuse has been there all week, and it's just ridiculous. It's been proven false. It's been thrown out. Man, real talk. This is how much love I got for y'all tonight, man. We're already 2.5 hours into this stream, and I haven't even started on the Saints roster yet. That's how much I got. That's how much love I got for y'all, man. You know what? Let's go ahead and do that. But before we do that, you know we got to bring back the clown. You know we got to bring back the clown rule. You know we got to. Prove me wrong, Matt Rule. Prove me wrong, because you still haven't done it yet. Prove me wrong. You're still a clown. It's still the clown show. I'm going to leave that up, because it's still the clown show. You all know I gotta get my kick somewhere, man. I gotta get my kick somewhere, guys. Alright, so yeah, I promised y'all that I would do this, and y'all have seen the video. Y'all know exactly what goes on here. Um, with this guy on ESPN saying that we're tipping off our offense. So obviously everybody has seen this by now, right? I don't need to show that on stream. I can just cut right to Jonathan Stewart's reaction to it. Y'all good? You're first looking for Bozeman to beat out F-line. In what way? In what way, man? I'm curious. Then you're looking for the next Ryan Khalil. Okay. I can respect that right there. Because a lot of people don't realize how much Ryan Khalil was the absolute anchor of this offensive line. And I mean, this dude earned captain status for a reason. Anything short of that, and I'm just done with it. I respect that. And we'll get back to that Pat F-line argument in a second, but I want to talk about Ryan Khalil for a second. Ryan Khalil was the anchor of this line. He did signal calling. He told everybody, okay, you're going to go here, you're going to go here, you're going to stop this gap, you're going to stop that gap, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. This dude just was on top of everything that went on that offensive line. And I was just so impressed. He never botched a snap. He never screwed up. And he held his own one-on-one against some of the most vicious defensive tackles I've ever seen in the league. He held his own. And, I mean, the man made Pro Bowl for a reason. Several times over. So, Vietnam, you are right to look for the next Ryan Khalil. This is the correct way to do things. That's the bar. That is the ultimate bar at center for the Carolina Panthers. Alright, now, being that, as what we've said here, let's go back to the Pat F line versus Bozeman discussion. Now, if you are judging Pat F line and Bozeman right now, what would it take? Pat F line, taking the Ryan Khalil stuff out of it. What would it take? That's what I'm asking. And the reason I'm spending so much time on this is very, very important and crucial to our offensive line. Okay, folks? And our offensive line determines how well our offense does. Point freaking blank. Regardless of what routes Ben McAdoo throws out there, anything. It starts with the offensive line. If you cannot settle on the offensive line what is going on there, you're not going to do anything. You're not even going to move the ball. That's just simple football offense 101. So, that is my legit question to you, Vietnam. Since you're the one that is actually defending Pat Eflin right now. Which is interesting, by the way, because he fumbled at least 6 times during that first game. Khalil was the Luke of that offense. Exactly. Thank you. Not many people understand this. And thank you for pointing this out, because you are absolutely correct. And I'm very impressed with the people that do know this. That attention to that offensive line. And we're paying attention to Ryan Khalil. The loss of Ryan Khalil to free agency was an absolute gut punch to our offense. It was an absolute knife wound to the chest, because we had a lot of opportunities to try to get this offense going and do things under Ron Rivera. But once we lost Ryan Khalil, it was over. And it has been an absolute train wreck trying to replace this man. You can't do it. Okay, you say if Bozeman can't beat out F-Line, why is he here? Okay. Again, my question, Vietnam, is what would it take for Bozeman to beat out F-Line in your opinion? You still haven't answered that question yet. It would take Bozeman to start for us, and we can see an upgrade in our run blocking and shortage situations. Okay? The reason Bozeman is not starting is because of Matt Rule. He's handicapping him. Why? I don't know. You can't see inside the head of Matt Rule. You really can't. But, you know, if I had to guess, it's this whole height argument garbage that's been going around. But, I mean, we're talking about a guy that said, oh, Brady Christensen's arm is too short, you know? And stuff like that. I mean, come on, man. This dude does not know how to evaluate talent. It's plain and simple obvious. So, in my mind, I watched Bozeman actually get the job done in 3 different preseason games. And Pat Elflein, yes, he did have a decent preseason as well. But would I put him over Bozeman? No. It's not enough for me. I'm sorry, it's not enough. And he was not having snapping issues at the time either, by the way. I want to point that out. First game in, 6 fumbled snaps. Where did that come from? You guessed it. Coaching. Ding, ding, ding. Come on, folks. You're going to give a man the starting job that fumbled 6 times in the first game? How many more chances are we going to take with these fumble snaps? How many more? Because I saw at least 2 more in this last game against the Giants, which I was not happy with. So, the problem persists. Even though, yes, you made progress on it, but it still persists. But Bozeman never did fumble it during preseason. Never once. Why? Because he's 30 years old. He's a Pro Bowler. He just won the Super Bowl. How many times did you see that man fumble a snap last year with the Rams? Answer me that question as well. You didn't. Because he didn't. So, I mean, to me, Bozeman is the choice. In my opinion. And I think in a lot of people's opinions he is. But I respect you for going against the grain, Vietnam. I do, man. Argue your case, though. You know? Why do you like Pat F1? I am all ears. I am willing to listen. You know, and so are the rest of us. You know? If you got a case to... If you got a case for Pat F1, man, go for it. Let's see it. I mean, change my mind. It has happened, man. It has happened, and it can happen. Go for it. But yeah, man, I asked that question. Like, what would it take for Bozeman to win that job? In your opinion? Hit me up with an answer on that, man. I'd like to know. Alright, let's... again, everybody's seen the highlight here where the dude's breaking down our offense, you know, and he says we're tipping off the offense to the defense, you know. Everybody's seen that, right? We don't need to run that again on stream. We don't need to run that. All right. Here is Jonathan Stewart's reaction to this. Now, I want y'all to pay close attention to his reaction specifically, because this dude was lined up behind center not too long ago under Ron Rivera. So you're getting an in-person, you know, a point of view, player point of view answer on this. All right, let's take a listen. And I'll let y'all judge for yourselves what you think. Was this dude cherry picking or not? Let's go.
Head coach Matt Rule actually was, of course, asked this question in the press conference today, and scholars came from that. So before we even discuss all this, let's hear Matt Rule's side of this. This video is actually courtesy of our friend Joe Person over at The Athletic. If I can grab it here real quick. And it seems like it's divided between the press and the fans in terms of which one's actually correct. So let's
keep in mind now, the press is going to say what they're going to say. They're going to defend their man because this dude was from the press that pointed this stuff out. You know, I just want to point this out before we keep going. They're going to defend their guy. They're going to think, oh, well, the press guy is always correct. When that's not always the case. All right, let's continue.
Hear Matt Rule's side of this here.
I saw this thing. You know, I think it's I've been around long enough. I've seen enough coaches. So I've seen enough coaches get honest. They do this. It's gonna be this. And
all right, everybody's heard Matt Rule and his nonsense. So
I spoke to some of the other
and his answers to that. All right. Before we continue, I want to read this answer from Vietnam. If Bozeman is the guy, then why isn't he getting the big time money? And for the record, I am very unhappy about F1, and I would have cut him last year. See, that's the question I'm asking, man. Why isn't he getting the big time money? Why isn't he starting? It's because of Matt Rule handicapping our center position, man. It's that simple. Like, if anyone has to question that at this point, after looking at the rest of this roster and what Matt Rule is doing with the rest of this roster as well, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I hate that our clown is letting F-line continue to fumble and be the subpar in the run game. Yeah, exactly, man. Okay, so you're saying that Bozeman should have the job. That's what you're saying? I'm just making sure. Okay, so you're arguing for Bozeman, correct? I just wanted to get that straight because you were kind of giving off that impression you were arguing for and defending F1. So my bad if I misinterpreted that. But let's continue.
Panther beat writers in there. What's the sentiment amongst the press that's reporting on this in terms of if Dan was actually right or not?
Dan's wrong regardless of what people think. I'm just going to lay it this way. Dan was wrong to go out there and just flat out call out the Panthers in the way that he did, because when you go back and watch the tape, you have to have clear evidence. I can tell you Dan Orlovsky did not watch all 52 snaps of the Carolina Panthers game against the New York Giants. I don't think anybody would be surprised by that either. He didn't. Yes, he said he didn't cherry pick plays. He cherry picked the plays. There's one play in particular. I don't know which one that it was off the top of my head, but one of the ones that he showed where he's trying to explain you, yes, it's a run if it's this, it's a pass if it's this. The very next play that he did not show, I think it was either the next play or the two plays after, it was the complete opposite of what he had just said that was what was going to happen. So, like, for Dan Orlovsky to tee it up like that on Twitter to get the fans all riled up and say, you know, I've got some stuff coming for you, Panthers fans. The Panthers are giving away their plays. He's literally trying to get a reaction. Okay. So that's the first thing.
Wow. So what he's saying is that he thinks that Dan is trying to get a reaction from Panthers fans. So he believes that they're using this to draw attention to the media, you know, to make us look bad. I could see where he's coming from there. I could see it. I mean, getting down to the nitty gritty here, man, I could see where his argument's coming from. And he's got a good one. But, I mean, true, he did not look at all 52 plays. You know, it would be very, very hard for him to be able to do that, you know, and say, okay, well, without cherry picking, this is the set of plays, you know, that we want to present. You're always going to have those people that are going to say, oh, you're cherry picking, even though you're not. You know, even if you aren't. So, it's tough to nail that down, man. It really is. But I wanted to get Jonathan Stewart's reaction to this because it's point of view. You know, that's the nitty gritty of this, and I wanted him to be heard.
Secondly, is Dan wrong in his assessment? Yes, 100%. Again, watch the tape. It doesn't take that much to figure it out. Now, when you're running offense, right, there's really four things that can happen. You run the ball, you pass the ball, you play action it, or you RPO. Four things, right? There's going to be percentages in every single formation that you line up in, like Matt was talking about. In certain looks that you give a defense, the defense is already going to know those percentages in their head. Okay, this is 70% run. This is a 60% pass. This is maybe a 20% play action. Like, there's going to be different percentages for every formation. There's only so many things you can do off of a certain look. And I don't see any consistencies at all in terms of just giving plays away. Now, yes, you're going to see trends. That's going to happen. I think even Tony Dungy said something about that on Twitter. So, like, it was just a bad idea for Dan to do that anyways. And I kind of feel for Matt in this sense because, like, no one's going to believe him, right? The fan base hates Matt Rule. They want him fired.
Yeah,
and they're not going to believe anything that he says. But I'm telling you, when I'm saying this, like, that he's right, he is actually in the right here.
Stu?
It is based on percentages. It is absolutely based on percentages, and Jay Stu is about to tell you the same thing. You know, he kind of alluded to exactly what Jay Stu was gonna say. But yes, you want Bozeman to start. Okay, good to know. Good to know. So I apologize for misinterpreting what you're arguing for. Sorry. Lock Poppy says you're still gonna go over rosters. Yes, I am. Indeed, I am. We're gonna get Jay Stu's answer here because this is a hot topic right now, and I want to get this on stream here. So,
yeah, I actually saw the clips being played last night on and you actually tagged me in one, and I initially liked it because I was like, oh, it's C-Mac. And then I took my butt to bed because I was tired. Messing around with this President's Cup out here in Charlotte. But nah, man, that would just be really basic, elementary football fundamentals, right? That you're really saying to Christian, whose football IQ is through the roof. What's Dan's last name?
Orlovsky.
Orlovsky.
Orlovsky. He was former Detroit Lion quarterback. His claim to fame, he was the dude that ran out of the end zone. Do you remember a couple years back?
Nah, I don't know who he is.
Dan, but that's his Twitter profile. Like
Dan Orlovsky.
Orlovsky.
Shame on you, bud, for clickbait. You know what you was doing. This is what day and age we live in, where people will do and say anything for clickbait. You played quarterback, you say. Well, how long did you play quarterback for?
I think 12 years, I think.
My gosh, even more disappointing.
Hold on, because I got to give some frame to all of this, because I did start seeing people saying online, hey, he cherry picked. John Ellis from the Roar podcast, another Carolina Panthers podcast. He's pretty well known in terms of he's a film dude. Like he pours through film, and he posted the first 30 shotgun snaps for the Panthers of that game. And I sat there and watched him this morning, and it was right. Like if he's lined up behind like that, it was a RPO. If he's lined up side by side with him, it was a pass, like every time. And it was like 30 shotgun snaps. So I don't know.
This is what I'll tell you from my experience of being in the backfield. You obviously don't want to tip off the defense of anything that you're doing. You try to, at least, in the offenses that I played in, especially out of the gun, ever since I was in Oregon, you want to be consistent every play. If I can line up in one position and get the job done, whether it's a pass play, whether it's an RPO, whether it's a run, whether it's a play action out of the gun, I'm going to try to line up there every single time. Now, the quarterback adjusts, Cam, when I played with Cam, Cam would move all over the place sometimes, go up to the line, check, especially if it's an away game, going up to the offensive line so they can hear you, get back to your spot so you can hurry up and snap the ball. And you might be out of position, but you adjust on the snap, right? So the only time that you really, readjust your alignment, or at least that I did, was if you needed to get to set the edge on a rollout pass, or you need to get out quick for a bullet route, of those things. I mean, if those things are true, which I don't think they are, where they're telling Christian, hey, line up this way when you run the ball. Line up this way when we're passing the ball. Line up this way when you're RPO. I just can't see that to be true.
What if it is? That's kind of my what if it is? Like, I actually sent this to a couple of high school coaches last night too, just to get their opinion on it. And they were all like, oh yeah, this team in our division, they do the same thing.
I will say, the depth of where you stand in the shotgun, um, for taking a carry, it's a lot easier route from the backfield to get adjusted to take the handoff if you're running inside zone. And it's a lot easier to run outside zone if you're lined up right with the quarterback because you're going right across the face. Now, like I said, I can't see them telling these guys that this is what we want happening. I don't see this being a thing really until they tell us that it's a thing.
But they'll never tell us.
Exactly. And I mean, like, I agree with Jay Stu here. I don't see it being a thing, man. And I just wanted to get his opinion out here, from a point of view, when he was working with Cam Newton, and I wanted to get that on the stream and let people decide for themselves, for the people that haven't seen his stream and the ones he's doing. It is Believe podcast. It's when you're looking it up, it's Tobacco Road Sports Radio, but just look up Tobacco Road Panthers and you should find it. Yeah, give them a sub, man. Jonathan Stewart's on there like every Monday, I believe it is. But shout out to David that sent that to me, and I'm really glad he did, because this just became the center of a lot of attention right now. Because when Jay Stu speaks, man, we listen. This dude's a Panther legend. So I wanted him to have his say, on here and speaking his mind on the matter. Yeah, it's a good crew right there. You got Desmond Johnson, you got Skyler, show these guys some love, man. Show these guys some love. Give them a like and a sub, man. And they don't stream on the same day as we do, so go check them out. Go get those numbers up for